Hey everybody, so I did something a little bit different this time. I do my live reactions for my subscribers and my members actually now, not my subscribers, but my members for my second tier and above. They actually get to see me live react. I thought you guys would love to see my actual live reactions and commentaries, so I did a couple of cuts where you could see my WTF moments and my reactions to some of the moments on this last episode. There was so much going on. I had so many reactions. And I really thought you guys would just love it for this last episode. And I thought I'd do something special. So stay tuned. Hope you love it. Thank you so much for supporting. Here we go.
Yeah, she does. She seems very happy, and I'm excited for her.
So I felt that Mary was really genuine in her response of wanting Christine to be happy. And I'm actually shocked that she met David. So I'm wondering in season 19 if we're actually going to see that interaction happen and how that happened. I'm thinking the only other time maybe she would have met David is during Logan's wedding. And then maybe perhaps Gwendolyn's, but I don't remember seeing Mary in any of the photos from Gwen's wedding, but I wouldn't be shocked if Mary was there. So I'm curious in what circumstances did Mary actually meet David? So it's interesting that you can tell that maybe those interactions have been kind of short but sweet with Mary, whereas Janelle has clearly had more personal, like one-on-one time with David. So you can definitely tell the difference. Let's see what this hater Cody has to say.
And I wish for her the absolute best. I hope for her all the happiness in life. But
that was a hard conversation. It was a
Sorry, I
hard
have to
lunch.
pause that really quick. Anytime somebody says that they wish this happiness for you, they care about you, blah, 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 and then there's a but after that, whatever they said before is basically null and void. So Cody, everything he says he actually does not believe. Once he added that but to it, he's adding a stipulation to his feelings. So I'm just telling you guys now, if anybody ever tells you something, well, I feel this, and this, but they're adding a stipulation to what their feelings are, which means those aren't really actually their valid feelings. As you notice, even as bitter as people say that Mary is, did anybody hear Mary have a but validation for her happiness for Christine? Did anybody hear Janelle have a but validation for Christine's happiness? And that's my big thing, is if someone has a but, it really doesn't matter. And he is living in a state of purgatory. As you can tell, it's almost like he's just stuck, y'all. He can't get out of it. He's playing it over and over. I've never seen somebody live so rent-free in somebody's head as Christine lives rent-free in Cody's. It's crazy.
Oh, so we've suffered all these years together and you're just going to quit? That was my feeling.
Pause. But it's interesting to me now that he's calling out things saying like, oh, it was suffering in Vegas, right? Then he's saying, okay, it became also suffering in Flagstaff, and she says she was going to leave. And it's funny to me when they got to the point where she actually says, I'm leaving, where he played stupid and boo-boo the fool about it. Like he had no idea or no clue. And he kept bringing up during that time period, as you guys recall, well, she's never told me. She's told everybody else but me. And it just proves once again that Cody has been lying, that Robin also too has been lying about Christine's feelings about this marriage. And it pretty much has been going on since forever. And even worse in Vegas and even worse in Flagstaff. And the way that this man is approaching this situation is that he lost control and he lost power, and he doesn't know how to handle not having control or power over a situation. I am a child that is of divorce. Even when I had parents that were saying negative things about the other parent, which absolutely does occur. And I do not believe for a second that Christine never had anything bad or negative to say about Cody, because when you're angry like that and you're going through a divorce and a separation, it's really difficult, unfortunately, as an adult, not to have anything bad or negative to say. And I hate to say it, but having those negative things to say to your children. And these are conversations that I've had with both my parents since then about how they didn't handle that properly. And they've both have admitted that they did not handle their divorce properly. But it is something that I do recognize that happens. I think the difference with this is, however, when my father, maybe let's say he would say something negative about my mom, it would have had to have been something that she has actually validated with her own actions or her own words. If she did not validate those things for me with her own actions or words, it pretty much fell on deaf ears for me, and vice versa. And I'm thinking for this situation, when Cody speaks ill will of Christine, her actions and her words don't align with what he's saying about her. But I think, unfortunately for him, his behavior, his actions, his words align with the things that Christine may be saying that's negative. And unfortunately for him, that's not working in his favor. And perfect examples of that when we watch this show is when he didn't show up for things like Isabel's surgery. That is a behavior that had nothing to do with anybody else but him. So when your mom tells you, well, he doesn't really show up for you, and then you think back, you know what? Yeah, when I had that could be possibly life-threatening surgery and the man told me he couldn't travel during COVID, though he would make accommodations for his friend's wedding and things like that. You know what? Yeah, mom, actually what you're saying aligns with his behavior. And Cody is just not man enough to say, hey, you know what? My behavior is validating the words that might be coming out of Christine's mouth. Instead, his reaction is, I'm mad, I'm upset, she's trash talking me. Well, she's not really, she, even if she is trash talking, unless your actions and words validate it, it doesn't matter. But because they are, this is why you're in the situation you're in now with the bulk of your children.
Being Cruella, and I'm like, God, yes. Felt a little bit crazy.
And did it feel good?
Yes. Yes.
I will say, you guys, if you think about the keep sweet and obey culture where women have to be sweet through everything, even if that person is beating you down, I could totally see a woman getting out of this and channeling every Disney villain they've ever known when they have a moment to stand on their own and be in charge and be the moment and have that chance. And I'm sure, you know, she'll look back on this 5 or 10 years from now and be like, I didn't probably handle that the best. But I absolutely see why she was having a Disney villain moment, because you're just like, this, and you know what, has been treating me like trash for years. This man literally stood in front of my face and fell in love with a whole nother woman, and now is blaming me for not having a relationship with basically his mistress, and is holding my relationship hostage through that. And you think I care about you being sick? I don't. And if you think about so many movies, y'all, like that, Tyler Perry to me does the best with these like women revenge movies. And I'll give you a couple examples if you want to see examples of like the Disney villain coming out of a woman. To me, one of the best examples is Diary of a Tired Black Woman. That is a absolutely Disney villain moment. Medea's family reunion is another one where you have kind of like a Disney villain moment. And also, what is it called? Not Love and Marriage, but oh, I can't think of it, but there's like it's like the marriage series. There's like two of the films and Janet Jackson's in them. But the first one is also kind of like a redemption arc story as well, and kind of like a boo I gotcha moment happens in there as well. And it usually happens to men where you're just like, you think you're getting away with something, you think you're the big guy, and then it's like, no, I got you back, you know. And I just think that happens in relationships and situations where the woman just feels like they've never had any power, and then they get a little bit of power, and it's like, woo, you know, I'm taking advantage. So I'm sure you guys down the line that Christine will probably regret this behavior, but for right now, she's living in it, she's basking in it.
No, because that's all my fault for marrying a woman I didn't.
What?
Ouch.
No, that's
But y'all, I got to talk about that last statement that Cody made. You know, it's so funny because it gives you like a little bit of a hope that maybe he's taken some level of accountability and responsibility for the destruction of these marriages. And so for him to say in that moment, well, no, it's not their fault. However, it still is their fault because I married women that I didn't love. And this whole narrative that this man just didn't love these women, and that's why everything broke down. I mean, give me a break, you guys. Like, I think had Robin never come in, would they always have been fantastically happy? No, I think there absolutely would have been some issues they had because they weren't it wasn't like, as they say, like your perfect match, so to speak. But I think they would have had a lot of love that they would have at least been able to build on. But it's really hard to build those things with a narcissist. I mean, it's just really difficult to do that. And the way he just handled that last question, where he could have honestly just not even just put all the responsibility on himself, but just taken a portion of it and said, hey, we just both made some really bad decisions. And the blow up of this relationship just has a little bit to do with everybody, not just Christine, not just Janelle, whatever. Each one of us had a part in it, but honestly, as the patriarch of this situation, I need to own up to the fact that I was the head of this family, and the bulk of the blame absolutely has to lie with me, because I am the patriarch, the priesthead, as they say in their religion, of this family, and he failed. And that's how you know another reason why he's not very close to the religion anymore, that he's not faithful to the religion. Because if he was, as the priesthood head of his family, the buck stops with him, right? And he should be the one taking the most, if not full, accountability for the demise and the breakdown of his family.
Sister wife, she'll probably, and I hope, be a very good wife for David.
Okay, this is my thing, you guys. I don't feel like it's ever the man's position to say whether or not a wife is a good sister wife or not. I think that's up to the women that are actually their sister wives to make that personal determination for themselves, how their relationship was, how they felt in those moments. And I will also say, in the situation with Robin and Christine, it was basically set up for failure and doomed for failure from the beginning. Ultimately, Robin was really brought in as a helpmate, sidekick for Mary. And it backfired, unfortunately. Instead of her becoming a sidekick and a helpmate, she ultimately became the mistress who her husband fell in love with, and thus created rifts between everybody and everything. And it completely backfired. And it's very difficult, as Christina said multiple times, and as most women would say, it'd be very difficult to create and build a relationship with a woman that ultimately you kind of look at as a mistress. It's almost next to impossible to ask somebody to do that. So for Cody to hold Christine to a standard that, let's just face it, not him or anybody on earth would be able to do without having some issues is ludicrous. And we watched in this show multiple times where Christine made ample effort to connect with Robin, build with Robin. And I'll put this little clip in there that I had recorded not that long ago, you guys, of one of those moments where it was to me a clear example of the value that Christine saw in Robin and how much she actually valued Robin and her children. I'll insert right here.
This, know that. When it comes to the whole marriage divorce thing, I mean, I don't mean to sound cold or anything like that, but I just don't care. I just want those kids. I just want those kids adopted. I want to know we have them. I want those kids. No,
when I watched back that episode where Mary basically was going to file for divorce from Cody so that Robin could marry Cody, you'll notice that Christine's immediate reaction during this episode was one of, like, number one, shock, because she knows it's a big deal for Mary to give that up, but then also it's a moment of relief that Robin will now, and the family will have the kids and not have to worry about the kids being taken away based off whatever Robin's told them at this point. And I think Robin's told him a lot based off some of the clips we've seen floating about how he vetted her. So we'll talk about that later. But also, it really demonstrates to me the value that Christine saw with Robin and the family. And even though she might be jealous, her first instinct wasn't to think about the negative aspect of Robin being the legal wife. Her thought process was immediately that Robin and her children would be secure and connected to the family. And that is major. And how he talks about Christine now calling her a crap sister wife. Janelle is the one that had the horrible reaction, which I think was actually a very valid reaction, but she's the one that had the bad reaction. Christine was not. So I just find it interesting that Cody continues to bash Christine. This man is literally trying to rewrite history. And like I said, he continues to let Christine live in his head rent free. Rent free.
Because that's when I'll believe Christine is in love, is when she doesn't have anything bad to say about Robin or about me to our children.
your love for another person is not dictated off of the pain that you had or experienced with somebody else. It also does not erase the pain, the frustration, the angst, the concerns that you have had in a previous situation just because you have now connected with somebody else and fall or maybe fallen in love with somebody else. The fact that Cody believes the only way for Christine to be in love with somebody else is if she has not one bad thing to say about him or Robin is quite interesting to me, because then he would have to hold himself to the same standard, in which I would ask him, well, if you really love Robin, could I not say the same about you? Because you have consistently said very hurtful, mean, rude comments about Christine, even Janelle, and Mary for that instance. So could you actually tell me that you're really in love with Robin if you have so many bad and negative things to say about these women, and also saying them to your children? Because don't act like Cody's not saying this to McKelty, because we all know that he is, because he's that type of guy. So I just find it interesting that the standards in which he holds everybody else to, and it really just shows the level of insecurity that he has as a man. He is just he is his level of insecurity is beyond. He is so mad, y'all. He is really mad, and I don't even know if hurt's the word, because I don't feel like he has enough empathy to be hurt. But I think he is just so angry that he wasn't the one to decide. Because in his brain, he's thinking, well, I wasn't attracted to her. I was never in love with her. I should have been the one to decide when I got to walk away. When in fact, you emotionally alienated all these women outside of Robin for years. And by the time they finally decided to walk away, now you're mad. Now you're upset that they no longer will allow for you to continue to emotionally abuse them. This man is crazy. This is a WTF moment, you guys. Like, we've had a couple so far. This is another one. WTF. Like, what is he talking about? He is the ultimate villain, y'all. I cannot get over this guy. He is killing me. Killing me.
Because I don't know how. It feels like it's disrespectful
Y'all,
to
I'm
his
sorry,
kids.
pause. I have to, because this is a
It feels
WTF moment, and I'm
disrespectful
going to
to
pull it
the
because it is
commitments
definitely a
that I made.
WTF moment. Robin's saying that this feels disrespectful. It did not feel disrespectful when you were taking a day out of the week, or one out of every 4 days, to spend time with this man when you were not married to him, and you felt that you deserved that through your courting phase. You also did not think it was disrespectful when you kissed this man when you were not married, and you sealed it with a kiss. So then you cried your way through that, but you never said that you thought it was disrespectful, because you didn't, okay? When this man was staying at your home longer than what you knew he should be staying with you, you did not find that disrespectful as well. The way that this man has emotionally abandoned all of his wives, you have yet to say out loud to anybody that you have found that to be disrespectful, that he has emotionally abandoned all of these women, and then ultimately started physically abandoning all of these women. You also have not said that it's disrespectful that he has alienated all of his children. So for you to come on this platform and try to fake cry your way through this and say all of a sudden now everything is so disrespectful to you, get out of here, girl. At this point, you are now coming to the realization that we all have known, is that you are no more than the mistress. And he fell in love with the mistress. And if you own the love and the relationship, then that means you have to also own the fact that you were a mistress. WTF, Robin, you were a mistress. Own that, girl. You were a mistress. And I'm sorry that that hurts your feelings. I'm sorry you feel bad about it. I'm sorry the guilt's probably eating you alive. That happens with a lot of mistresses, because they know that they did not come into that relationship the right way. And for a lot of them, in their back of their minds, they're thinking, I'm going to lose him the exact way I got him. That's what you're thinking. We all know this man is not going to go into polygamy again. And whether you believe it or not, you know for also that you're not willing to sacrifice your time with him. You're not. Whether you believe it or not, you're not willing to sacrifice it. You weren't willing to sacrifice it when you came in as the fourth wife, and now you certainly aren't going to sacrifice it as you're now living as the first. Which I would think
you know,
too.
because I knew about her.
So you knew about
Okay, so I will
Christine
say
before
this,
you
which I
started
actually
dating.
like, is that from the beginning, he is not denying the fact that he knew who Christine is. And I'm going to tell you now, if he would have played stupid, living in Utah, acting like he didn't know who the Brown family was, or Christine was, or Sister Wives was, I would not believe him for a second, you guys, because I know a lot of people from Utah, and even if they've never maybe really not seen this show, they know of them, they know what they look like. So I automatically connect with his honesty, because he's pretty upfront about the fact that, well, yeah, I knew who this person was. He may not know every single aspect of her or have watched every episode of the show, but to play stupid and act like you don't know who this person is would have been red flags for me. So I'm actually really glad that from the second date on, he basically told her, hey, I know who you are, but let's just see if we're a match. And I'll be honest, people say they want to talk to somebody that's famous, but reality show famous is different from celebrity show famous. Reality show means if you're in their life, because those people share their lives, more than likely you would also have to share yours. And if you have a lot of skeletons in your closet, people are going to dig those up, which we have already seen people do deep dives on David. And the only thing they've really come up with was that the man was married for a long time. His wife passed away. He's a dad. His kids love him. He's very involved with his family, and he's a business owner. That tells you that this man has had a pretty honest, clean record up till this point. So that shows a lot, that he's also saying, hey, I also kind of knew who you were, but, at the same time, it's really not going to paint my entire image of you, which I'm happy for Christine that he gave her an opportunity, because I honestly think a lot of people probably would have run.
But that scene bothers me because she's right there asking for my children to side with her against me. I mean, nobody else sees it. Maybe I'm just delusional.
What? I have to take a second because I want to gather my thoughts, because what happened and what he is now alluding that happened to Sakanya are not the same. And I believe, after I've done quite a bit of research on gaslighting, this is the perfect example of that. Because when Christine was speaking on this moment, number one, this is an actual documented moment, and her children would not know about this moment had it not been put on, number one, national television, where he was actually in a tell-all that TLC has tried to erase from the internet, but we have all found it multiple times, where he said he is was never attracted to Christine, especially when she ate nachos and she just made him grotesque, and he was totally questioning why he was marrying her. He also said the same things in a book. There are now multiple places where this man has said that he was not attracted to his wife. These things did not ever come out of Christine's mouth until they've gotten to the end of their marriage, where she's like, I'm done with him, and that's what's making him not attractive to me, is how he's treating me. So for him to be mad and try to act as though she's trying to get her children on her side, Cody, if you hadn't said it out loud on TV, in a book, your kids would never know. And I'm sorry, but even though McKelty knew these things about you, McKelty was still taking her children to see you, still inviting Robin to the birth of her children, still being connected with you and your children with Robin. So to act as if what happened in this moment had some type of negative impact, both McKelty and Tony, mind you, have been connected to you, held your back, stood up for you in multiple occasions. So this is a total crock, okay? This guy is so delusional. He wants to be the victim so bad. He's basically creating it. And I'm sorry, but Aspen and Mitch mind their business. They said like 1.5 words in that moment. Truly wasn't even there. These are adult children, her 2 adult daughters. It was 2 of them. It wasn't even the whole family. It was her 2 adult daughters. Gwendolyn wasn't there. Isabel wasn't there. These are 2 young women that are technically they're older women, but they have had their own time to build a relationship with you prior to Robin, because Robin came in when they were teenagers. So if they've now formed a different opinion of you, it's because it is something you have created. It would not be able to be adjusted based off this 20-minute long conversation with Christine, basically reiterating to them what you've already said on national television on your own. Cut it, bro.
Right now.
I vetted
And
Robin
that's it.
differently than that. I
Yeah.
vetted Robin hard because I had to know that she didn't leave a good man before
Okay,
I was going
pause.
to marry her and take a chance with that.
Pause on this,
But
y'all.
can you understand?
Let's talk about that for a second. That comment that he just made about Robin and how he needed to vet her, and basically she needed to basically trash talk her ex-husband, because if she would have said he was a good man and been probably honest actually about who he was, then Cody wouldn't have married her. I find that very convenient. The claims she's made regarding abuse, how this person treated her, how bad it was, how terrible it was. Oh, now we need to go adopt my kids because they're so bad. Oh, they're not giving back. I'm going to tell you right now, it makes me question every single last thing this woman has said about her ex-husband. Because if now that we know that Cody is saying he was vetting her based off how she responded in regards to her ex-husband, because if she were basically to say he was a good man, well, Cody wasn't going to be married to her, because how dare she leave a good man? It can't just be that they were not compatible and it's not going to work. No, no, no. She had to prove to Cody that he was a bad man in order for Cody to want to be involved with her. That says a lot, you guys. That is a bomb. That that is a bomb dropped. Him saying that. When you look back at what happened with this family and how Robin talked about her ex, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if anything she said about that man was actually true when it came to all the bad things she said. And that is scary. Whoa, that's very scary when you think about it. WTF on that one. Total WTF.
So to me, when you have it all, if you don't have it, because I was in a marriage where there wasn't much talk and there wasn't that part. And with Christine, everything's there. So it's just natural. So
Okay. That was a weird jump right to the proposal when you're getting into that deep conversation, but I think that David handled that really well. And I really loved his response to that, where it and how he responded. He didn't have to down talk Cody or his ex-wife when he was saying it. He's just saying, me and Christine are equally yoked. We fit well. Our communication works well. Our love languages are very connected, and we're able to work well with those. And I don't know if she had that connection before. And the way he said that was perfect, because it didn't make Cody the bad guy. It didn't make his ex the bad guy. It's just saying when they were in those situations, it didn't work for either one of them. And together it actually fits and it works well. And for some reason, Cody cannot do that. He cannot just say, hey, it didn't work and leave it at that. He has to try to find a way to downplay who Christine is as a person, how she acts, who she is, how she exists. He has to down another person in order for something to make sense in his mind. Because in his brain, he doesn't think anybody should ever not want to be with him or want to leave him.
No, I'll invite Janelle for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to invite Cody or Robin, or I'm not close with their kids right now. I've reached out to them. They haven't answered, but it's fine. Everyone needs to process what they need to process.
So, like I said, this is one of those moments too where you're like, God, she's corny. But also it's really sweet. And I really love David. And I think he's lets her just be herself and she feels really comfortable with him. And also too, it's like, man, if you have been married before, all this negative energy surrounding that. You didn't get to walk down the aisle. You didn't get any of those special things. It's like, yeah, I can totally see why Christine's like, I want to have the dress. I want to walk down the aisle. I want to have that moment. I totally understand that. And I would be the same way. And I think it's, that's great that she's going to have that opportunity. I also think it's interesting that even through all this, Christine has reached out to her Robin's children. I have yet to hear that Robin has reached out to the children that are not getting along with Cody and that she has her issues with. She's made no effort to do that from what I've heard. I've heard nothing about her making any effort to connect with any of those kids. And that says a lot. And so when Robin goes on these tirades about how she wants the family, blah, 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 it just is clear as day to me that the fake tears go along with her fake attempts to connect with them. It's all fake. She has no desire to be connected with any of these people. And we've all caught on. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, share the video. Thanks so much for being part of the Red Lipstick Club, you guys. I'm looking forward to doing a live where we can kind of chat about how we felt about all the lives and then about the upcoming wedding, which actually looks like pretty entertaining. So I'm loving to see all the kids, Hunter, Maddie on there. And honestly, it's kind of making me feel like this is probably why Gwendolyn wasn't there, because it was an actual recorded segment. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we'll talk about it. I'll see you guys later on the tube. Bye.